So I found out that my cousin has some old records and she's wanting a stand for them. So I'm gonna make her one. I looked it up online and I found this nice looking record stand. So I went ahead and created a very, very rough cardboard model for this thing. And so we'll end up with the records kind of going in here like this, and you'll be able to flip them around. Next, I found a board of pine that is thick enough that I figured for these ribs here, the supports, and because this was so rough, I didn't actually trace it, but I pretty much drew this shape and I added real measurements and actual angles and things, and then cut out these pieces from it. And then next, I cut out some panels and added some notches here so that they can fit together really nicely. You don't have to guess, everything just fits into the right place. So here now we've got the rough shape of this. Some of these pieces, as you can see, still have some pencil markings on them, like here, a little bit in here, and this one even has some ink on it. So what I need to do is first I'm going to take an eraser and try to get rid of these marks as much as possible. It's a lot easier to erase than to sand. So we're gonna erase them as much as we can. And this is not gonna come off, so I'm gonna try some alcohol on this one. This doesn't seem to be working terribly well. We're getting a little bit of it, but I'm probably just gonna have to sand most of this off. It seems like the sandpaper is working. Something else that you'll notice on an older piece of wood is one of the outsides. See how this is, now that I've sanded this, it's really light, and on this side we've got this darker part, and that's because the wood has responded to being open and vulnerable by creating a sort of a very thin layer of bark, and so we're gonna just take that off to freshen it up. So when we put these records in here, currently they kind of slide, so I want to add a little bit of some ridges in here so that they can rest and stay. And so to do that, I'm going to take a tape measure and measure across here, and I found that it's 7.5 inches. So I basically said, all right, every other eighth inch, I'm gonna put a mark. And now that I have all these marks in here, I can take a rat tail file and over every mark, I can start adding a little bit of a ridge. I got another idea because it's really hard to control where the rat tail file goes, and I want these to be as evenly spaced as possible. So I figured I'd use a bandsaw to put a little nick in right where I want the ridge. I've got all these little nicks in here. I can just line my file up, and that's staying in a nice straight line. So I finished up those little slits and put everything back together, and now we've got a functioning record case, and I can flip through all of these albums.